Hi everyone, in this video I'll explain wrapped ether or WETH or WETH. I don't know what people call it, but let's not get stuck in that. So before we move ahead with this video, you should have some basics sorted for you. And these are going to be the basics of Solidity and the basics of Ethereum. I have a video series covering each of those ETH 001 and 002 respectively. You can check that out on my channel, or if you know it already, then it's good. You would also need a good understanding of what ERC20 tokens are and how they work. The good thing is that I have covered that as well in another video, so you can find the link for that in the description. It's a part of a broader series, ETH 004, where I cover various EIPs and ERCs, so do check it out if you're interested in that. And once you have the basics sorted for yourself, you can move ahead with this video. So in this video, we'll cover what are wrapped tokens, what is wrapped ether, why was it needed, how it works, what is the future of wrapped ether, a walkthrough of the wrapped ether contract, and a demo of a few bridges. So let's get started. So before we get into the details of the wrapped ether, let's first understand what are wrapped tokens exactly. So you'll see these terms thrown around a lot like coins and tokens. And it's very important to understand the distinction between these two. Coins are generally native to the protocol. They are a part of the system design of the protocol itself. And they are generally used as a form of currency for that protocol. So if you recall from our Ethereum basics videos, you'll remember that Ether, the native cryptocurrency of the Ethereum network, is basically used as a medium of exchange for the computation on the network. Users who do any activity on the network pay the network operators using ETH. So it becomes a currency or a medium of exchange for the network. Now, that is true for various different protocols. For example, Bitcoin has BTC as its own native currency or coin. Ethereum has Ether or ETH, Solana has Sol, and Polkadot has Dot. Tokens, on the other hand, are smart contracts that follow a particular token standard. These tokens can represent anything like ERC tokens, NFTs, etc. So the core distinction here is that tokens are not a native part of the protocol itself. They are instead built on top of the protocol for a specific purpose. When it comes to behavior and functionalities and properties, I'm comparing here coins and ERC tokens because NFTs have a completely different set of properties. It's mostly the ERC20 tokens that get confused with the coins. So the major comparison is going to be between them. Coins are the native cryptocurrency of the protocol, while tokens are smart contract deployed on top of that protocol. These smart contracts follow certain standards based on whatever protocol you are using, but the core distinction is that some examples of popular tokens are like Uniswap's Unicoin, Compound's Comp token, etc. etc. To understand it better, you can think of it like an actual currency versus a currency that is derived from that currency. Derived currency mostly relies on the platform or the infrastructure that is using it for its own purposes. For example, we have Amazon gift cards, Uber gift cards, and Sodexo balances. So the idea here is that these Amazon gift cards or Uber gift cards are basically derived currencies that are derived from the actual currency, which is the fiat currency, that is US dollar or INR or Singapore dollar, wherever you are based out of. And these gift cards are derived from the actual fiat currency by the platform for their own benefit. And you can use these derived currencies on specific platforms only. For example, you cannot use Amazon gift cards on Uber or Uber gift cards on Amazon. Similarly, you cannot cash out your Sodexo balances into your account. So that would be a very good mental model for you to understand the difference between the coins and the tokens. Now, if you understand that well, you'll automatically understand why there was a need for wrapping a coin as a token. So, coins that are native to one blockchain don't by default work on the other blockchain. It's just like how mobile games don't work on PC by default. But the catch here is that mobile games can work on PC with a special software, also known as emulator. Similarly, for a coin to work on another blockchain, we need to wrap it in the form of token and deploy that token on that blockchain. So a great example for this is the wrapped Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't work on Ethereum by default, but you can take your Bitcoin to the Ethereum network using wrapped Bitcoin. Now, there are three main players involved in this game of wrapped tokens. These players are users, the asset to be wrapped, and the custodian. First two is simple. We'll elaborate more on custodian. So, the custodian has two responsibilities. It acts as a bridge between the user, the original asset, and the wrapped token, and it also ensures that the value of wrap token and the underlying asset remains the same. The working mechanism behind wrap tokens is very simple. To wrap your asset, you lock them up with the custodian, and the custodian mints an equivalent amount of wrap tokens based on that asset. And to unwrap your tokens and get the actual asset, you transfer the wrap tokens to the custodian back, and it mints the equivalent amount of the underlying asset. So it's a very straightforward and simple mechanism. Some popular examples of wrapped tokens are wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped Ether, wrapped Binance Coin, and wrapped AVAX Coin. So you see that all of these four are different protocols or different blockchains, but they also have their wrapped tokens, and there's some advantage to having these. These advantages are interoperability and increased liquidity. So, interoperability means that we can use dApps that are not available in the ecosystem where we have the coins. And increased liquidity means that we can migrate the liquidity from one blockchain to another. So, we'll take the example of Bitcoin for this. Bitcoin chain has great pools of liquidity, but the chain by its very design is limited in its nature because it's just a store of value, it's just a ledger of transactions. You cannot deploy any smart contract there, you cannot build many dApps there. There are some modifications being added to the chain, and dApps or NFTs are possible in some way. But the core architecture of the Bitcoin chain wasn't designed for that purpose. Because of that, we have other protocols like Ethereum and Solana, where smart contract functionality is there. And because of that, they have a very diverse ecosystem of various dApps. So if you hold a lot of Bitcoin, you are stuck with the BTC chain, which doesn't have a lot to offer. With wrapped Bitcoin, you can take your liquidity from the Bitcoin chain to Solana or Ethereum, and you can use the dApps that are not available in the Bitcoin ecosystem. There are some disadvantages of wrapped tokens as well. The main disadvantage of wrapped tokens is that we have to rely on a custodian that is also a centralized entity. This automatically brings a few more disadvantages, which includes risk of losing funds because of any hack or any malfunctioning, and it also includes a risk of depegging. This generally happens when the price of the underlying asset is not equal to the price of the wrapped token. And mostly this happens because of some algorithmic error or some kind of market manipulation. So while wrapped tokens have some advantages to them, they also have a disadvantage to them as well. Now, coming to wrapped Ether or WETH, the main problem that people faced was that if they had bought some ETH to explore the world of DeFi, they couldn't use it to its fullest potential. And that is because most of the dApps or protocols don't support ETH natively. The reason for that is ETH doesn't conform to its own ERC20 standard. So if you look at the timeline of Ethereum network was conceptualized, designed, and launched during the period of 2013 to 2015 and 16. At that time, Ether was designed mainly as the core native currency of the Ethereum network, the purpose of which was just to serve as a medium of exchange between the network users and the network operators. It was a few years later down the road when ERC20 token standard actually came. And that happened because many people started launching their own tokens. And the community came up with a common standard to do that so that it becomes easier for everyone to launch their own tokens. And these tokens are also easy to use and integrate with other dApps. So, to sum up, Ether came much before the ERC20 standard, and most of the dApps today are built keeping in mind the ERC20 standard. So, Ether isn't directly supported by many of the dApps, and hence it cannot be directly used in these dApps. For this problem, Wrapped Ether was created, and Wrapped Ether is a ERC20 token that is a smart contract deployed on the Ethereum network. And the value of this token is pegged one on one to the value of ETH. That means if the value of ETH today is $1,000, then the value of WETH would also be $1,000. And since it's ERC20 token, it's by default supported by many dApps and DeFi protocols. Now that unlocks many benefits for wrapped ETH because one, it can now be used in dApps and for making microtransactions. Like a major chunk of the DeFi population is comprised of explorers who want to try out different applications, and making microtransactions is a very good way to try out different apps. You're not going to deposit $10,000 in a dApp in the first go. So with wrapped ETH, you have a facility of exploring multiple protocols, multiple applications, bridging to different layer 2 networks. So that gives you an ability to do small value transactions in a very cheap manner. If you were to do that on Ethereum network, most likely for just transferring $10, you would end up paying $5 to $10. So that is one huge benefit of using wrapped Ether. As I've already mentioned, wide exposure to DeFi applications. Since it's an ERC20 token, it is supported by various DeFi applications by default. In fact, most of the DeFi applications where you will lock up your ETH or you will do a swap, the DeFi application would internally convert the ETH to wrapped Ether first, and then they'll do the processing. And faster and cheaper transactions because you can bridge to multiple layers, multiple protocols. You don't have to bear the cross of high gas fee on Ethereum network. You can bridge to different layer twos like Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, and you can try things out there. Using wrapped ether is also very simple. To wrap your ether, you send it to the wrapped ether smart contract and it will mint an equivalent amount of wrapped ether for you. To unwrap your wrapped ether, you'll send the wrapped ether to the smart contract and it will send an equivalent amount of Ethereum to your account. One question that might have crossed your mind is that can wrapped ether exist on multiple protocols? And the answer is yes. This is because wrapped ether is essentially a wrapped token, and the fundamental concept of wrapped token is to enable the use of a coin on a blockchain where it's not natively supported. So, if you want to migrate the liquidity from Ethereum network, you would need wrapped ether on many protocols, on all of the layer 2s and maybe other layer 1s as well. So wrapped ether needs to exist on different protocols and it will. Some of the major layer 2 networks already support wrapped ETH and more are bringing the support for it soon. So it can and it will exist on multiple protocols, and all of these protocols would be connected by cross-chain bridges that would allow you to transfer your wrapped ether from one protocol to another protocol. The next question is, how is the value of wrapped ether equal to the value of ether? This is so because wrapped ether is backed by actual ether logged in a smart contract in 1:1 ratio. This means that the supply of wrapped ether is always going to be less than or equal to the Ethereum locked in that wrapped ether contract. Whenever you send in an amount of ether to the contract, it will mint an equivalent amount of wrapped ether. And whenever you send wrapped ether to the contract, it will transfer back the equivalent amount of ether from its own balance. And that's how this value is maintained. In liquidity pools and crypto exchanges, the wrapped ether to ether peg works similar to collateralized stablecoins. If you know how stablecoins like DAI work, you know this as well. The underlying mechanism is of arbitrage opportunity. It is something that you will face with the DeFi applications again and again. And there are many resources online that explain it very well. You can find a lot of resources on YouTube or Medium that explain how arbitrage works. And you should definitely check it out because it will help you with the other DeFi applications as well. Now, what is the future of wrapped ether? So, till now, wrapped ether has played a significant role in creating a diverse ecosystem of various dApps where you can use your ether for multiple purposes. You can convert it to other tokens and then use that to do things. But there are plans to make Ether compliant with its own ERC20 standard. And this is because there are some disadvantages that come with using a wrap token, and we should reduce our reliance on them. So, there's some conversations going on that, as a part of the entire upgrade process of Ethereum 2.0, Ether will become compliant with its own ERC20 standard. And meanwhile, Uniswap rolled out a new version of their DEX where they introduced support for native Ether again. So that was a lot of details about wrapped ether. There's also an official website called weth.io where you can get a TLDR of this entire information. So do check it out when you have the time. And we'll move ahead with the smart contract walkthrough. So we'll go back to Etherscan again. Here we have a tab called tokens where you can see top ERC20 tokens and token transfers. We'll go to top tokens and we'll find wrapped ETH here. It is the seventh top token, so that is a good thing. When we go to the profile of this contract, you'll see the various details associated with it, like current circulating supply, the price, the maximum total supply, etc., etc., the number of holders. Do take time and explore this profile a bit to see what's going on. Once you're done with that, go to the contract tab, and here you'll find the contract for wrapped ETH. To analyze this smart contract on a high level, you can go to a UML diagram and you can see all of the details about this contract. It's fairly simple, and if you know how ERC20 tokens work, you will have no problem in understanding this smart contract. You'll see the standard properties and methods and events that come with the ERC20 token, along with very slight modification. For example, we have name, symbol, decimals, balance of allowance. These are all as it is from the ERC20 token. Then we have a few events. Transfer and approval are from ERC20 token as it is. We have some additional events, deposit and withdrawal. These are mainly to signal deposits and withdrawals from the smart contract. Apart from that, we have deposit and withdraw functions. Then we have total supply, approve, transfer, and transfer from. These last four functions are from the ERC20 contract as well. Now, coming back to a contract, let me zoom it out a bit. And here you'll see some info. This is some license stuff. We'll move ahead to the next line. You can see that this is a very old contract. It is written in Solidity version 0.4.18. We are at 0.8 something right now. So this is a pretty much old contract when we are talking about it in DeFi timelines. So again, we have defined a smart contract. We have the basic properties, name, symbol, and decimals, which have the value of wrapped ether, WETH, and 18 respectively. Then we have our events, approval and transfer. Approval and transfer are the same from ERC20 token. And then we have deposit and withdrawal. This is basically to log how much deposit has been made or how much withdrawal was done. Then we have mappings of balance of and allowance again from the ERC20 token. We have a deposit function where we have one line of code. Basically, if you send some ether to this contract, it will increase your WETH balance by that value. So if you create a transaction request to the deposit function and send 5 ether along with it, it will basically increase the value of WETH corresponding to your address by 5. And it will also emit a deposit event that this much ether was deposited in the contract by so and so. Then we have the withdraw function. In withdraw function, you basically send in some wrapped ether and you get the equivalent amount of ether back in your account. So the first line of code checks whether the amount of wrapped ether you want to convert is more than the amount of wrapped ether you already have. It would be foolish to convert more wrapped ether than you already have. Then it basically reduces your balance of wrapped ether and it transfer the equivalent amount of ether to your account. It then emits a withdrawal event which basically logs the account to which the ether was sent and the amount of ether that was sent. Then we have the function total supply that returns the total supply of wrapped ether in circulation. Then we have approve, transfer, and transfer from functions, the logic of which is similar to how it would work for any RC20 token. After that, we have some license stuff. You can go through it or not, completely up to you. To see which protocols support wrapped Ether, you can check out multiple cross-chain bridges like Stargate, Across, or Portal, and you'll get a UI that you can reverse engineer in a way to understand which protocols support wrapped Ether. So, for example, we have Stargate here, and I can search for wrapped Ether, and you'll see many options. So you can see that wrapped Ether is on Ethereum and wrapped Ether is on Phantom as well. And it's on Kava, IOTA, Clayton, Mantle, etc. So you can select the wrapped Ether on Ethereum and you can bridge it to another network like Phantom, and you can basically transfer your wrapped Ether from Ethereum to Phantom network. Similarly, you have a cross protocol where you can select your asset, that is wrapped Ether. You can enter the amount, you can select the source network. If you have wrapped Ether on Ethereum mainnet, you can select Ethereum mainnet here and the network that you want to transfer your wrapped Ether to. You can take your wrapped Ether to Arbitrum, Base, Optimism, or Linea, and you'll be able to try out many dApps with a lot less transaction fees. Similarly, in Portal, you can select your source network, you can select the asset. You can see that wrapped Ether is here, and then you can select your target network, let's say Solana, and you can see that you have a version of wrapped Ether on Solana, which is wormhole wrapped Ether. So you can select that and then you can transfer your wrapped ETH from Ethereum network to Solana. I leave the link for these bridges in the description below. Do take out some time and play around with these bridges so that you know which protocols support wrapped Ether. And that was all about wrapped Ether. Do check out other videos on the channel. Ask your doubts or leave feedback in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next.